The Boy and the Word are life in stanzas and storytelling dedicated to Russell. Experience 1. The valley once. In the valley where the palms swayed wide, where the heat shimmered on cracked pavement roads, a boy was born beneath a restless sky. Not into wealth, nor ease, nor quiet, but into a world of echoes and edges, where voices clashed and dreams ran fast. The boy ran too, not from, but toward something unseen, unnamed, a pull, a calling, a whisper in the wind. He ran through back streets and alleys, through laughter and fights, through hunger and hope, with a fire in his chest and the weight of words in his bones. Words found him before the world did, not in books, but in rhythm, in the rise and fall of voices, in the hum of a radio, in the sharp snap of street talk, in the midnight hush of a home that never quite slept. But hunger does not fill itself with poetry, and the world is not kind to dreaming boys. So the boy learned steel, not just syllables. He learned the weight of fists and duty, of dust and discipline, of war and waiting, of walking the thin line between what is given and what is taken. Experience 2. The warrior and the word, the boy, became a man in a place of iron and silence, where time was measured in commands, in distance, in loss, where the ground itself was foreign, and the air smelled of waiting. He held stories in his hands like weapons, sharpened his mind as he had his blades, carved his way through uncertainty, through blood and boredom, through shadow and sand. But war, like fire, consumes. It does not build, it does not create. And in the quiet spaces between orders, between duty and the long march home, the man who was once a boy still listened, not to gunfire but to the old whisper, the one that had never left. Come back to the word, it called. Come back to the thing that was always yours. Experience 3. The scholars rode, so he did. The fighter became a scholar, trading steel for ink, desert winds for library halls, marching still, but this time through words, through Chaucer and Quixote, through Shakespeare's ghosts, through every voice that had once whispered to him. But learning is not the same as belonging, and not all places welcome those who come from fire and fists. Yet he was never meant to fit. He was meant to forge, to take the English language and make it his, to bend it, to master it, to teach it, to turn it into the sword and shield it had once been for him. And so he built. He did not just learn, he created, he shaped, he led. He formed a path for others who, like him, had heard the whisper but never knew how to answer. The Valley Kid became the master of words. The boy who once ran barefoot now stood among halls lined with centuries of wisdom, not as a guest, but as a keeper of the flame. And still, the whisper called. Experience 4. The final chapter years passed, and the books bore his name. The lessons were taught, the knowledge passed. I knew his touch. The English language carried his mark. He had given, and given, and given, until it was time. Like all great tellers of tales, he did not linger for the end. He did not wait for the last applause. He walked quietly away from the center of it all, slipping into the mist of his own making. Some say he still writes, some say he still dreams, and some say if you listen closely in the quiet spaces between sentences, you will hear him laughing. Finn.